Hello, beautiful people. I hope that wherever you are in the world, that you are doing well and that you are taking care of yourselves. I'm Chris Danker, and this is Let the Adventure Begin. Let the Adventure Begin with Chris Danker podcast. Welcome to episode 151. If you have been following along, you know that this is the week that I was supposed to have surgery. And so this episode was going to be all about how I was prepping for my surgery and how I was feeling about it. For those of you who are of a certain age and have female organs, you would have appreciated the fact that this was an episode that was going to be about my upcoming hysterectomy. And I was also going to have some other work done in which the advanced practice registered nurse said was a facelift for my lady parts. And I loved how she phrased that. It was going to include a 4 to 6 week recovery period, and I have known about this surgery since the end of February, so I had over 3 months to prepare and know that, hey, my summer is going to be disrupted, and I, hit that point where I was ready for it. I was going to be chilling out for the most part. I planned to work on a mindfulness course, do some short walks. I was going to try my hand at daily sketching. I am not someone who is an artist by any means, but I'm like, this would be a great time to, do something that is out of my comfort zone because I can't do a whole lot else. So I thought that would be great. My plan was also going to read, write, and have short visits with my grandkids. So basically, I had the next 4 to 6 weeks mapped out. You might notice my voice might be a little bit different because things changed when I was diagnosed with an upper respiratory infection, and therefore surgery had to be rescheduled. So as I'm recording this on the 16th, this is the day that I found out that surgery was going to be a no-go. And I'm going to be honest, folks, it has thrown me for a loop. Since I had the bulk of my summer planned out for rest and recovery, I had nothing pretty much on my calendar for 4 to 6 weeks. In fact, the next thing I had on my calendar was the fact that we have a visit scheduled to go see our son approximately 4 weeks after my surgery. We're planning to take the train out to see him and be in Chicago for 6 days. It's great. That's still scheduled, but that was something that I was going to be looking forward to during my recovery. And now I'm wrapping my head around the fact that that is no longer going to happen. So, long story short, this episode is about valuing the season that we're in. Valuing the season that we're in can really look a lot of different ways. And it can be really hard. And when let's say we're someone who does not like the winter months, so it's hard to value that cold, dreary, rainy, snowy time before we get to enjoy summer again. And it's finding ways to value that, literal season that we're in. It could be a season where we're between jobs, that the job market can be really kind of rough sometimes. And so it's like, how do we handle those time periods when we're used to being at work at a certain time and we're not? So how do we find value during that season of employment? Finding value in grief. Whether it is grieving the death of a relationship or the death of a friend or a family member. It could be grieving a friendship or grieving the fact that we're moving from one place to another in our lives. And it's really hard to sit with that grief. So it's valuing, whether it is, and sometimes, that moving, it might not be necessarily the grief of the move itself could be from the fact that we really liked where we were, and maybe we are excited about where we're going, but we're still in that period of grief before we're letting ourselves be excited about where we're moving and how we're moving on. And it's really kind of slowing things down and valuing that season that we're in and letting ourselves sit with that, to be able to sit in that discomfort, to sit in not maybe being able to, when I think about my surgery that's been rescheduled, being able to sit with the fact that, I've now been thrown for a loop. I had all of, months to prepare for this. And now suddenly in one fell swoop, that has been changed. And so now valuing this season when I get to look at the calendar and I see a blank slate each day, and I can look at it and go, ooh, what am I going to do with today? And like I said, I know that's harder when you're grieving something or you're in that job search. However, we can still find value in that season. And, for example, of looking for a job, looking at ourselves and what are some of those soft skills that we have that maybe others don't have, that we can start doing a better job of promoting during our job search. And doing that analysis, that is finding value in that kind of a season. So, as I am looking at this season over the summer, I'm looking at each day as a blank slate. And I'm also in that process of, I rescheduled my surgery for December, and some of you might be thinking, what, you're now, about 6 months away from now having surgery. Why so long? And some of it is because I am not in an emergency situation. I have some discomfort and I'm uncomfortable with what I'm going through internally. However, like I said, it's not an emergency. So I asked for it to be pushed back. At full transparency here, in the school district that I'm in, I do not have enough sick days built up to just be able to have my surgery at any time of the year. I could have had it in September, but I don't have enough sick days banked. And so I would have just had to take days off without pay. And I have, like I said, the luxury in some ways of being able to push it off till closer to winter break so that I can use the days I do have saved up and winter break to give myself a really, fairly decent cushion when I do have my surgery. But then it'll be wrapping my head around valuing being in that season when I get there. And so I want to encourage you to, really look at the season that you're in right now. And where are you? What is going on? And how can you find enjoyment in the season that you're in? And even though I am not excited about the fact that I have an upper respiratory infection right now, I am in that mindset of, all right, I'm my first priority. I don't know why I got this. I don't know why it happened and why I was diagnosed with it 2 days before my surgery, but it is what it is. And it does me no good to wallow in that self-pity mode. I just have to go that the universe or God decided that this was not the right time. And I'm okay with that. So I'm looking forward to getting better, number one, and then being excited about filling up the blank slate of each day that I thought I was going to be in recovery. So I would like to encourage you to do the same. Maybe take some things off your plate. Maybe start looking at where can I find value in the season that I'm in right now, especially if you're one of many parents that my husband and I go back and we think about our own kids when we were in the throes of all the activities during the summer, and you're going all over the place and wondering how you're getting through it. Find value in that season, because even though it is a lot, there are a lot of many special moments when you are in it as well. So that's all I have for you this week. I was planning to have 2 replay episodes on June 25th and July 2nd while I was recovering, and I'm still going to have those there. So next week will be the most downloaded episode called Release. It is a replay of that one. And then on July 2nd is a replay of my very first interview. It was with my husband, Jack. Comes at an opportune time because our 36th wedding anniversary is on June 30th. So that one will play on July 2nd, and then I will be back with fresh episodes beginning on July 9th. So I hope that wherever you are in the world, that you let your adventure begin.